What's up, guys? It's your boy King David. Now, I literally just woke up. Probably not literally, but kind of close to it. And what I noticed is that typically I'll wake up and I start to look at Instagram or something, right, guys? Before, when I wasn't really watching any social media, I wouldn't do that. But something came to my attention with people talking about women, people talking about dating, people talking about just things that, it makes sense to some degree, but at the same time, they don't. But they do, but they don't. We'll get right into what I'm talking about here, guys. If you're a man these days and you're trying to do the dating, you're trying to be with a woman, you're trying to maybe be in a serious relationship, you're trying to be committed, right? There's women out there, but it's harder to find, guys. It's not going to be as easy to find somebody who's really a long-term partner, somebody who's not just going to sleep around, guys. That goes for guys and girls. Guys, we do this, not me in particular. I've never really done that. I've always told the person that I'm with, hey, I'm trying to be with somebody else, or not necessarily like that, but I'm trying to, break up before I end up going into another relationship. Unless you're just dating the person, you're not really committed with the person, then it's kind of more open, but you still should kind of let them know that yeah, I'm sleeping around with other people too. And the reason why you should be like that, guys, is because honesty is really something that is important. Honesty is something that's really important. Now, you might not be trying to settle down with this person. You might not be trying to really get to know them anymore or further. But a lot of times we see girls ghost guys without even really telling them what they need to improve on, or why they weren't attracted to them, or what they did technically wrong, right, guys? A lot of us have experienced this. I think even the semen retention community, a lot of the guys, they've experienced some of these things because of losing your energy, right? Now let's break it down realistically here. When you meet somebody new, she's exciting. You want to be around her, you want to talk to her, you guys are linked up, especially in the past. Let's talk about the past before we talk about nowadays. If you met somebody back, maybe not in high school, but let me say college, right? We're talking about year 2000, and kind of when the internet wasn't really around, right? Year 2000 and 8 or so, right? 2010, around that time, you would meet somebody, and yeah, we had phones, we had internet and stuff, but a lot of people weren't really attached to their phones like how they are now. You got your dopamine from her, right? You got your dopamine from being around her and seeing her, and really just being friends with her, and really getting to know her, and experience her side of her life, and just trying to understand who she is, right? And she would be doing the same to you, and trying to take care of you in a way. Maybe she'll cook for you, maybe you'll cook for her, things like that. I guess pretty equal in most terms. Not everything is going to be equal in relationships, and I normally don't talk about relationships, guys. I talk about fitness and advices in life, but here's a good advice, right? Because it's going to get around to retention. When you get a little bit older, guys, and it doesn't necessarily mean age, my channel's about fitness advice and mostly spirituality, because it kind of goes along with retention, and retention's an advice, in my opinion. So basically, like when you get, more awakened, like you could say awakened, but I don't really typically say that. But let's say you're more awoke than other people. Like you can see through the veil, you can see, and then the intentions of people, right? And that could be like, say if you were young, you could have seen through the veil, like you just had a clairvoyance, you had like an awakening, right? Early on in your life. There's some people who have it when they're 15, some people who have it when they're like 20s or 30s. I had mine when I was about 28 or so, guys. So, this is what's going to happen. Once you start to like wake up and you start to see things for what they are and the reasons why you're around certain people and the reasons why you're dating certain women and things like that, you instantly figure out, okay, this is just pleasure, like a lot of times, right? Now, if the person really cares about you, that's different. That's different, guys. And you could tell somebody really cares about you because they're the ones who are going to like cook for you. They're the ones who are going to, like I was saying, like take you out, It doesn't always have to be you taking her out. How this pertains to retention, guys. This pertains to retention because if you're not retaining these days, right? You're not retaining these days. You're being a guy who's just, out and about and talking to women and on these dating sites and trying to, woo women. You gotta understand, like, that's kind of old school. Like, that's an old school way of looking at things, and there's nothing wrong with that. If like she's an old school girl, a lot of times she's real. She's gonna tell you like it is. She's gonna go, hey, this is what I like to do. Now nowadays, women, they want you to read their minds. Now older women, they tell you straight up. They're like, not even necessarily older, but just more awakened women, more old souls, right, is what I'm talking about. They just tell you straight up, like, hey, look, this is what I like. I like long walks on the beach. I like, this kind of drink. I like that. I like this. I like to do all these things. Now, it necessarily might not involve money, but, this is what I like to do, right? And they're pretty honest. They're pretty straightforward with what they really want out of you, and if you can't provide all those things, or if you can't provide all of them, she can make some compromise. Like those are real women. Those are women who are supposed to be, going for it, right, guys? So when you're retaining, you're gonna automatically attract what you want in your life. Not want what you are designed to be with. Like a lot of guys, they want to find their potential partner, their soulmate, their twin flame, their one and only, right? That's what they say, guys. Yeah, you can still find her. There's women out there like that. There's women who are actually really like awoke and spiritually inclined and old souls and very beautiful women too on top of this, You do have to understand, though, guys, like, if you're not retaining, you can't attract her really in your life. And why is that? Because you don't have any of that sexual energy. Like, everybody has pheromones. We talk about pheromones. We talk about, energies and things like that, guys, and spiritual currency. And we talk about how certain women are more attracted to you. Now, you got to understand that most people out here are like depleted, guys. Most people don't have a lot of energy. Most people are vampires. If you want to put it in terms, guys, I don't really like the word vampires for people because people really aren't vampires, like the movie vampires. You get what I'm saying, guys? Like yeah, there's energy vampires in this world, but I don't think there's actual real vampires for all I know, there might be, but that's horrible to think about, right? Sorry, guys. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you're retaining your energy, you're glowing. You're walking around like a light bulb, right? You got energy in your skin, in your eyes, in your body. You know, you're eating right. You're going to the gym. You're taking care of your hygiene up to the T. You're looking fresh, right? You're looking fresh, as fresh as you can. Opportunities are coming into your life. All these things are good, really good. Because if you notice, when you weren't retaining, none of this stuff was happening to you. I mean, some of it might have, but you know, it depends on your destiny, honestly. Because like some people can still like get a lot of these things. Like it depends on who you are, really, at that point, right? It depends on who you are and what's meant to happen to you and for you. Here's the thing, guys. You start retaining, you're storing up energy. You're storing up ojas, right? What we talk about is ojas, which is the essence. It's mostly stored in your semen. Ojas is life force energy. That life force energy is potent. It's strong. It sends out a beacon. Like you're a beacon, guys. Like it sends out like a signal into the universe, into the planet on certain days, right? And you'll feel this, guys. Like it's hard to explain it like how I'm explaining it now, but you can just feel it. Like there's been times I've been retaining and I just feel it. Like I'm like in my room or, you know, in some other like location. I'll be like at the park or something. I can just feel the energy just floating off of me. Like it's so strong. It's almost like a yearning, like I'm here kind of a feeling. And it's like you want a girl, right? You want a girl, but like you don't want just any girl. Like you have that discernment now. In the beginning you don't, of course, because you're a little bit but we'll talk about like really how it feels. Like it gets more strong. You start thinking about relationships. This is what happens to me every time I start going on a longer streak. I start thinking about relationships. My mother might call me and talk about, hey, why aren't you with a girlfriend? My grandmother might say, why don't you find a girl and get married and stuff. You know, things are kind of going. It's like the momentum is kind of sped up. I have a job. I'm working. Saving up my money. Things are going right. People are coming into my life that I never met before. And it's really just kind of like good after good after good. Now here's the thing, guys. Like, it only takes a little bit to be knocked off your momentum. One person can really knock you off your whole, like, it's like you're building like a stack of blocks. Like somebody can just come over and just like knock them down. Now, honestly, you're the one who ends up, you know, knocking most of them down, but some people can set you off. Some people can really set you off, and it ruins the whole like momentum you built because it's not high enough yet. It's always right before you get to that next level that somebody's going to try to like stop you from getting to that next level. You might be talking to the girl and she's interested and she's showing you interest, and you're at work or whatever, and now like a coworker comes up and like, hey, I need you over here, right? Stuff like that. And it's not like really like he could have handled it himself, but he's like, hey, like I need you to blah 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 blah, go do this for me, because he's like your superior. He's maybe your manager or something, right? I need you in the back room so we could talk about something. It's like, and you're just about to get the digits to like some beautiful woman in front of you, right? Stuff like that will happen to you guys. People say it's like the evil forces, you know, and it can be, which is sort of true, because you have to have discernment. You have to know whether if it was right or wrong. But if it was right, it would have been smooth. She would just hand her number to you. You know what I mean? You would have had a deeper connection than you thought before. It would have been like you can't get away from each other, right? It's like you're stuck, like magnets, right? You're stuck. Why is it like that? It's because of your energy, guys. Like, a lot of women are gonna want to like connect with you because you're retaining, and you have that glow to you in the world that's mostly depleted people. A lot of people are dark. A lot of people don't retain. A lot of men don't retain. A lot of women aren't, celibate, guys. So, you're really like glowing to them. You have like this strong energy to you, and you're really a masculine energy too, in a world where like a lot of men are feminine, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, when you get this energy and you're feeling this way, and you have more discernment because you've been through it a couple times, guys, and you understand that like how like the whole dynamic works between man and woman, and understanding how women are I'm not going to say anything bad about women because I don't ever really talk bad about women. I'm just going to say that when you're high vibrational, right? When you've been retaining, they're going to be drawn to you. They're going to be really, really drawn to you. Now, you just have to make sure whoever you're like talking to, or whoever's really trying to get with you, you have to make sure they really are not just like trying to take your energy, because they can take your energy without you actually like releasing. Just being around them and talking to them. Okay, oh, is this girl showing me interest? I really kind of like her. You're talking to her, but she's not really like interested. She just wants your energy. She wants to be around you to siphon it. She wants to take it from you. And if she could take it from you by just talking to you, she's going to do that. She's going to, slowly deplete it. Okay. Because if you ever notice, like, this is the truth, guys. Like, you'll walk into a building and you see somebody, and they're kind of like low vibration. They're like sitting in a chair. They're like, what's up? Yeah. We got sodas in that aisle. And chips in the other aisle over there. And you walk in, you're like, hey, what's going on, man? How's life been? And blah, 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 blah. That's too much energy, guys. Like, you're like a spark. You're like flowing with energy. Like, you walk in feeling good. You got a pep to your step. That's real good energy. That's good energy, guys. Like, that's not just any old just like lethargic like zombie person behind the counter. No, it could be because of their job and how many people they have to deal with and stuff. I'm not blaming how they interact with people, but you start to realize that if you're a person who's mostly outside, you're retaining your energy, you know what I mean, and you're spending your energy in the right directions and in the right people. You're not really spending time with the girl because she's pretty. You're just like, hey, what's up? And you just keep doing what you're doing. Now, yeah, she's gonna want to pull you towards her, say something to you to make you like, to gain your attention, because she wants some of your energy. Now, once you get to a point where you don't care about that and you just have discernment, you're like, yeah, she's not really that interested. Because if she was really interested, guys, like, and she was like matching your energy, she's probably the one you want to hang out with and find out who she is. She walks up to you, be like, hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while, or you're really handsome, or blah, 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 and where are you from? And if she's genuinely interested and you could tell she's like trying to touch on your arm or trying to get to know you, or, you know, flirting with you, and you guys are just sparking up this amazing and just cool conversation, and she's like, hey, you know, I live pretty close, you know, how about we hang out on Friday or something, and we go to the park up here, and blah, blah, blah. If she's like that, I mean, you kind of got to watch out still, but, and you can feel it, and you know, it's not just like, just a lie and just BS. You found the one, guys. Like, that's probably the one. I mean, really though. And then you guys go hang out and you have like a picnic or something, you laugh, and you're just light. It's just a lot of light energy. If you notice, guys, when you're really high energy like that, people will show up around you. They'll spawn in, is what they say. A lot of people will spawn in. And I'm not talking about just like one or two people. I'm talking about a whole group of people will show up. Because like I said, a lot of people, they don't have very much energy in this world right now. There's all sorts of crazy calamities and things that are going on. And when you're walking around laughing and living life and having a good time because you've been retaining, now you're not always going to be that way. But when you feel that way, they want to get around you, you know, and you have to be very careful on who's around you. Now, God is protecting you, and you're really protected when you're retaining, guys. So just remember that when you're like that, you're just on a different frequency than a lot of people, and they're not going to understand you, and they're going to just want to like steal your energy instead of like transmuting their own, instead of like building up their own and transmuting it for themselves, because that's a lot of work. You spend a lot of time, guys. Like me, I've been retaining since what, 2020, maybe 2019, probably like 2020. That's 6 years, man, of trial and error, and trying to battle content, and trying not to release, and trying not to be with certain women, trying not to, you know what I mean? That's a long time, guys. Like, you know, being in different relationships where you can kind of see like this person really is not for you, you know? That's a lot of work, guys, like having to like deal with certain people, and maybe you were in a relationship with a woman, but it didn't work out, and you guys ended up splitting apart, and it was a good break, but at the same time you still feel some type of way, you know, because maybe it could have been something better. You notice it starts to get a little better over time. Like, it gets better and better and better. At first it starts off kind of rough with retention, and you're like, man, this is hard. And then it gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And you get more wiser. You have more discernment. You understand things into a deeper knowledge. And it's just amazing, guys. Like, you get to a point where I mean, let's be honest, like I'll talk about me. Like, I'm at a point where I don't really care about being in a relationship. Like, I don't care about having a girlfriend or being married or anything like that. And now, like I've said before in other videos, it's not that like I don't you know, expect it. It's not that like if it didn't somehow manifest itself that I wouldn't go through with it. It's just that you got to understand that there's always somebody out there for you. But if you're not right within, you can't attract them. You know, getting right within is obviously not drinking, not smoking. I mean, what works for you, obviously, guys. Like, some people can get away with just smoking a little bit every now and then. Some people can get away with drinking coffee every now and then. Some people can drink coffee a lot and still be cool. Some people can drink alcohol and be okay with that just every now and then. You know what I mean? Or maybe they can drink it all the time and they can still find their partner, right? Some people need those things in life. Some people need those crutches. But you gotta still, like, you have to understand how much do you need it? Do you really need it? Do you not need it? I've talked about that before in another video of mine. I go on all different topics and things like that, guys, and I really try to stay on track here, but let's be honest. When you are not thinking about being in a relationship, when you're not thinking about being, married or something like that, you really just leave it to God. You leave it to whoever's in charge up there. You leave your life in charge of him. Like, he's the one who's really in charge, and whatever he wants for you, that's what you're gonna get. Not everybody's meant to be married. Not everybody's meant to have girlfriends. Not everybody's meant to retain. Not everybody's meant to go through these battles and stuff. Because it's tough. If you're walking around think about it realistically. You're walking around like a light bulb, and everybody else is dark. Mostly, not everybody, but like a lot of people are very dark. They're not nice people. Or, I mean, they might be nice, but they just don't have any energy. They don't retain. They don't conserve their life force energy. They're wasting it. They're putting it on women's faces and on their bodies and stuff, and they're not really being conscious of what they're doing, right? They're not thinking about, let me not release this day and let me go a couple weeks without until I meet up with my woman again. Like, no, they're like, okay, my woman's right here. I woke up with her. I'm gonna and I was the same way. Guys. I'm not saying I'm judging you guys. I'm just being honest. When you get to that level, guys, like I'm saying, and when you get to this level, guys, and when you can really resonate with what I'm saying, you realize that it's lonely. It's a lonely thing until you get your energy right. But some people like me, like they just need to break free from everything first. That's like the first step, and that takes a long time in itself, and a lot of times you'll backslide. Because you never really had like people in your life that like guided you, right? So it's rougher. It's easy for you to fall into like smoking weed or to drink alcohol or to smoke cigarette or whatever, you know what I mean? Or to constantly masturbate and release, guys. It's easier for you to fall into that deep debaucherous hole. You get what I mean, guys? So when you break free from all that, guys, like, and I'm not saying that like you guys can't do it either. I think every person can do it. I think everybody can literally do this to some degree. Now, some things you just can't break free from. You have to accept that and live with it and try to manage it. But I'm just saying that when you break free from that, for some people, because some people can break free from all that and never pick it up ever again, that's when it really starts it really starts to get going. It starts to get going in your life, and then the last step is obviously retention, because that's the second strongest, guys. That's the second strongest energy that we have, besides trying to conserve our lives and survival, guys. Self-preservation, of course, but that's the second strongest, going out, finding a woman, having a family. Or if you're not using that energy to go have a family, conserving it and using it to either build something or to create something or to do something with it. Like if you're not out here like going out and searching for a woman who's actually like legitimate, you know. And what I mean by legitimate, you get what I'm saying, like a partner. There's a lot of women who have, I think all women really are really potential, or they're already there. Some are already there, but a lot of women have potential. They just weren't guided. Like, a lot of people aren't guided these days, and they fall into the same trap that everybody else is falling into: smoking and drinking and acting a fool and sleeping around and doing stupid stuff, guys. Like, so I mean, I try not to judge people because I was in the same boat, you know. Is whether if they break out of it or not is their choice, you know. It's really not their choice because it's God really controlling everything. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like, it does take some time. Like, it takes them to realize what they're doing is not it's not the way to go. And sometimes they need to be hurt first before they realize being hurt is how you find your peace, you know. So, you know, get into that peaceful state, get into that, you know, inner peace, and get into that I'm right within first state is the first goal. And then the retention really just skyrockets. It goes from like, okay, it's day 1, day 2, now I'm on day 300, now I'm on day 5,000. But how did I get to day 5,000? You just stopped caring about it because you knew it was just the right thing to do. I haven't been drinking, I haven't smoked, I haven't done nothing this day 5,000. I'm not doing any of it. And then when you look back at who you were, like when you look back at who you were to who you are now, you're going to be like, whoa, who am I now? Like, I mean, you are better. Of course you're better. You're far better than somebody who's just doing this debaucherous acts. You really are. Like, you're far better than your old self. Like, you would have already grown in a way, but you accelerated your growth by like a lot. You went from like walking to now you're driving in a nice vehicle. You have a steady income, maybe from making content or making, you know, or working a job, depending on which way you go, which way you're putting your momentum into, you know. You have, you know, the nice outfit on now, like you're able to afford certain clothes and to dress a certain way, to be presented to this world in a certain way. Your speech pattern is more clear and correct and direct, and people can understand you better, and you're not using slang words. You know, you're not saying the N word. You get what I mean, guys? You're presented in a different manner because that's who you are now. And the slip-ups don't happen. And the reason why the slip-ups don't happen is because the momentum has been built up. You're going so fast now that it's like you can't backslide. Now, yeah, there might be moments where you're like with your homies or something, if you're really still tight with those people, that you might say a couple things that are out of character, for sure. But that's not who you are, you know what I mean? And a lot of times the way you're talking about it is you're talking about it like it was something that you used to do. It wasn't something that you do now. It's just to prove a point to somebody who needs to learn better for themselves. So it's like, it gets crazy, man. It gets crazy. Like, this journey is difficult. And you should never look down upon somebody at their consciousness. It's like you're trying to like explain to somebody who doesn't know something that this is what you should do. At first, they're not going to understand you. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I totally understand. You know, retaining your life force energy is really important. Until they finally get it, until they've released enough times and they're like, wait, my back starts to hurt. Why are my bones crunching and cracking everywhere I go? Why are my eyes all dry and low and red and, you know? Why did my girlfriend leave me? You don't have no energy. There's no attraction. There's no magnetic pull anymore, guys. Like, you gotta be real with yourself. Like, you can't be releasing all the time. Like, if you notice, I'm gonna talk about this, and I'm probably gonna end it. If you notice, like, these women, they want to get with these guys who are they're always talking about, like, I want a real man, I want somebody. I'm not judging any women out here, guys. I'm just saying what some of these women will say, right? They want to say, like, I want a real man, I want somebody who's going to protect me, I want somebody who's masculine, I want somebody who's strong and who carries the groceries and does this and that, and you know, I want somebody who's, you know, works on the house, and it's just a manly man, right? They want a manly man. They want a manly man, but then they want to drain him of his energy and make him into a beta man. They want them to release constantly, draining him of his testosterone that makes him a man. You know? Because they want to have pleasure. They want to have fun. No, I'm not saying that you can't have fun. And some women have more, like, discipline. They can say, hey, no, like, there's got to be some times when we do this and sometimes when we don't, of course, right? When we get intimate or whatnot. But if you think about it, if you're really masculine, if you're a masculine man, like really masculine, you're going to attract a very feminine woman, a very feminine woman. And a feminine woman, you know, she's going to understand the dynamic more between a masculine and feminine, right? She's going to be, maybe she had been celibate for some time. Maybe she's never really, maybe she's even a virgin, right? Sometimes you'll attract virgins because you've been retaining for so long, guys. When you're with somebody who's like innocent and pure like that, they can see through the veil even further to some degree, guys. Like, because if you've never really like slept with anybody and you've never been releasing, right, for a man, right, or a woman, she's never really done anything with herself and she's never been with anybody, that's purity, right? It's a pure person. So when you're pure like that, your frequency's at a different level, guys. Like, it's really like strong of a level. And she's gonna see the masculinity in you, and there's gonna be like a totally different dynamic in play when you guys are like with each other. You're okay with just holding each other's hands. You're okay with just kissing. You're okay with just, you know, getting close to each other, hugging each other. You know what I mean? You appreciate just the small little things in life. Like, maybe it's just going to a movie and just sitting back and, you know, eating popcorn and laughing at the movie, and then you go home and you really just lay in the bed together. Like, your guys aren't like doing anything until you're ready for it, right? Until she's ready for it, so you're ready for it. You know, that's understanding, guys. Like, we gotta have more of that. And it probably is. It's not gonna happen anytime soon, I don't think, because, you know, the man up above, he's the one who's controlling everything, guys. So you gotta understand that if you're like that, you're rare. You're a rare person these days. Like, a lot of guys aren't doing that. You know, they're not taking their time and thinking about all that stuff. They're thinking about just hopping in and just doing what they gotta do. And then she's just another check mark on she's just another scratch off on, you know. You get what I'm saying, guys? You gotta realize what you do every day and what you listen to and what you entertain yourself and where you put your energy is where you're going. It's where you're going. You know, you're building momentum in that direction. So that's all I got to say for that, guys. And you know, stay up, guys, and stay up. Stay on your journeys, guys. Sorry, it's really early, guys. Yeah, stay on your journeys, guys. Don't get discouraged. It's going to take you some time. It's going to take you maybe even years, guys. Don't worry about not having the guidance, guys, because really God is the one who's guiding you. And when you get right with that universal force, guys, and understand that it's always there. You know, you might not always hear him, but that's okay. That's a part of it too. When you do hear him, you know, you'll understand what I'm saying, guys. Like, the people who understand what I'm saying they're gonna get me, right? Besides for that, peace out. Have a good one. Liking, comment, you know, leave a comment down if I said anything that needed to be improved on, or if you have any you know, questions or anything like that on how to retain your energy and stuff. And I'll give you the truth, and I don't give you any runarounds, guys. And you know, just you know, leave a comment below and tell me how you feel about the video, and subscribe if you want to, guys. Peace.